There is a wound that no one sees, but everyone carries. The feeling of not being worthy of love. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt something was missing? Have you demanded so much from yourself that you forgot to be kind to yourself? There is a sacred secret that few know. Loving yourself is not selfishness. It's the way back to God. And today, you will discover how this union between self-love and faith can transform your entire existence. Because there is a mystery kept in the heart of those who suffer. The healing you seek so much is not out there, it's inside you. Right now, as these words reach you, something greater is happening. God is preparing you for a revelation that will change the way you see yourself. Stay until the end, because what you're about to discover about yourself may be the new beginning your soul has been waiting for. Welcome to this sacred space, where the soul finds refuge and the heart learns to breathe again. If you're here, it's not by chance. Perhaps you arrived tired of carrying alone the weight of everything you feel. Perhaps you're seeking an answer, relief, a light in the midst of so much inner darkness. And I want you to know, you are not alone on this journey. Every word you're about to hear now was woven with care, like an invisible embrace that crosses the distance and reaches you. Today, we're going to talk about something deep, delicate, and transformative. The union between self-love and spirituality. It may seem simple, but it's one of the most challenging lessons life teaches us. Because, you see, we learn from an early age to love others, to care, to give, to sacrifice ourselves. But who taught us to look inward with the same tenderness? Who told us that loving ourselves is not vanity, but rather a sacred act of recognizing the divine light that dwells in each of us? The truth is that we spend our whole lives seeking approval, trying to be enough for others, carrying guilts that are not ours, believing we need to deserve love. And in this tireless search, we lose ourselves. We forget who we are. We forget that before anything else, we are sons and daughters of God, created in His image and likeness, worthy of love simply for existing. When you don't love yourself, when you treat yourself harshly, when you demand from yourself without forgiveness, you are telling the Creator that His work is not good enough. You are rejecting the most precious gift you received, your own life. And this, my friend, this hurts the soul. Because deep down, very deep down, you know you deserve more. You feel that there is something wrong in living with so much weight, so much guilt, so much self-criticism. But I have news for you. Healing exists, and it begins when you unite two powerful forces, self-love and spirituality. When you understand that loving yourself is not moving away from God, but rather getting closer to Him. When you realize that taking care of yourself, respecting your limits, honoring your emotions, all of this is a form of prayer. Because when you treat yourself with love, you are honoring the love God has for you. In this video, we will walk together through this journey of rediscovery. We will understand why it is so difficult to look inward with compassion. We will dive into the pain you carry, not to lose ourselves in it, but to understand it and transform it. And, mainly, we will discover how faith can be the bridge that takes you back to yourself, to your purest and most luminous essence. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be here, now, in this moment. There is no rush, no judgment, only the promise that, at the end of this conversation, you will look at yourself with different eyes, kinder eyes, more loving, more divine. Because this is the truth the world doesn't tell you. You are loved exactly as you are. And when you learn to love yourself the same way God loves you, everything in your life will transform. So give me your hand, symbolically, through this screen, and let us together discover the secret that can heal all your wounds. The sacred union between the love you have for yourself and the faith you have in the divine purpose of your existence. This journey begins now. There is a silent pain that lives in so many people's chests. It's that feeling of never being enough, of always owing something to someone, of carrying an invisible weight that no one else can see. You wake up in the morning and, even before opening your eyes completely, you already feel that internal demand beginning. I should have done more. I should be better. Why can't I? And so, day after day, you fade away, like a candle burning alone in the darkness. Perhaps you look in the mirror and no longer recognize who is there. Perhaps you only see the flaws, the marks of time, the scars that life left, and a voice inside you whispers hard, cruel, relentless things. You're not beautiful enough. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. This voice has become so familiar that you don't even question it anymore. You simply believe, and believing, you mistreat yourself in ways you would never allow anyone to do to you. The truth is that many of us learn to treat ourselves as enemies. We deny our needs, ignore our limits, suffocate our dreams. We say no to rest, to pleasure, to joy, as if we didn't deserve these things, as if life were only sacrifice, only duty, only pain. And when something goes wrong, when we make a mistake, or when things don't turn out as planned, we are the first to punish ourselves, to condemn ourselves, to reject ourselves. Have you ever stopped to think where this cruelty toward yourself comes from? Many times, it is born in childhood, when someone told you that you weren't good enough, or when you didn't receive the love you needed and concluded there was something wrong with you, or when life hurt you so much that you decided to harden yourself, close yourself off, protect yourself by building walls around your heart. And these walls, which once protected you, now imprison you. There's also the weight of comparisons. You look at other people's lives and feel you're being left behind. On social media, everyone seems happy, fulfilled, loved. And you feel small, inadequate, invisible. You forget that each person has their own journey, their own silent battles. You only see the shiny surface and demand of yourself to shine the same way, without realizing that your light is unique, irreplaceably. And there's guilt. Guilt. This constant companion that makes you believe you need to pay eternally for your mistakes. That makes you carry the past like a backpack of stones on your back. You remember everything you did wrong, every word that hurt, every opportunity you missed. And instead of learning and moving forward, you trap yourself in these memories, punishing yourself repeatedly, as if pain were a necessary penance. But what you don't realize is that this way of treating yourself is killing you slowly. Not physically, perhaps, but emotionally, spiritually. You are emptying yourself of life, of joy, of hope. You are becoming a shadow of who you could be. And the saddest part is that you do this thinking you're being humble, that you're being realistic, that you're just being fair to yourself. But there is nothing humble about mistreating yourself. There is only disconnection from the divine love that created you. Because when God made you, He didn't make mistakes. He didn't create you to suffer, to hate yourself, to live at war with your own soul. He created you to love and be loved, to flourish, to shine, to experience the fullness of life. And when you reject yourself, when you treat yourself with cruelty, you are saying no to the divine purpose. You're closing the door to the grace that wants to reach you. And so you go on living, half alive, half dead, smiling on the outside, crying on the inside, helping everyone, but never helping yourself, being strong for others, but falling apart in the loneliness of your room. And there comes a moment when you are so exhausted, so wounded, so lost, that you don't even know who you are anymore. You became what others expected, what you thought you should be, but you lost your essence along the way. This pain of not loving yourself, of not accepting yourself, of not respecting yourself, it separates you from everything. It separates you from people, because you don't believe you deserve to be loved. It separates you from your dreams, because you don't believe you're capable. It separates you from God, because you can't comprehend how something divine could dwell in someone as imperfect as you see yourself. And in this separation, you live a half-life, always waiting, always postponing, always believing that one day, when you're better, when you're different, then you can be happy. But what if I told you that day is today? What if I told you that you don't need to change anything to deserve love? What if I told you that healing begins exactly when you decide to stop running from yourself and start looking at yourself with the eyes of someone who truly loves you? Because there is someone who loves you unconditionally, who knows you completely and still chooses you every day. And that someone is waiting for you to open your heart and allow that love to transform you. That someone is God. And the journey back to Him begins with the journey back to yourself. Now, Take a deep breath and allow a new light to enter this story. God never abandoned you. Even in the darkest moments, when you felt alone, rejected, lost in the darkness of your own mind, He was there, watching, waiting, loving you with infinite patience, awaiting the moment when you would be ready to hear the most important truth of your life. You are loved exactly as you are. You know there is a profound difference between the way the world teaches you to think about yourself and the way God sees you. The world tells you that you need to earn love, that you need to be perfect, productive, beautiful, successful, that you are worth what you do, what you are, what you appear to be. But God tells you something completely different. He tells you that you are worth simply because you exist, that you are precious, not for what you achieve, but for who you are in essence. A divine spark, a unique expression of creative love. A rose doesn't compare itself with a sunflower. A river doesn't envy the ocean. Stars don't compete with each other to see which shines brightest. Each element of creation simply is, in all its fullness, fulfilling its divine purpose without questioning itself, without diminishing itself. And you, my friend, you were created with the same love, with the same divine intention. You don't need to be different from what you are. You just need to flourish in your own essence. But I know it's difficult to believe this when you've been taught the opposite your whole life, when you grew up hearing that you weren't good enough, when your wounds convinced you that you don't deserve love. That's why it's so important to understand that self-love is not separate from spirituality. It is the very essence of it. Because when you love yourself, you are recognizing God's love in you. You are saying yes to divine creation. You are honoring the sacred that dwells in your heart. Jesus taught us, love your neighbor as yourself. Do you perceive the depth of this phrase? He didn't say, instead of yourself, but as yourself. Because the love you offer to another is born from the love you cultivate within yourself. If you don't love yourself, if you treat yourself with cruelty, how can you offer true love to someone? You can only give what you have. And if your heart is empty, wounded, rejected by yourself, what do you have to offer? The spiritual truth that needs to be understood is this. Loving yourself is not selfishness. It's sacred responsibility. It's caring for the temple where God dwells. It's respecting the life that was given to you. It's recognizing that you don't belong only to yourself, but are part of something much greater. And when you mistreat yourself, when you diminish yourself, when you reject yourself, you are rejecting a divine gift. You are saying that God made a mistake in creating you. And this saddens the Creator's heart. But there is hope. There is always hope. Because God doesn't give up on you. He continues calling you through silent whispers, through moments of beauty, through people who cross your path to remind you that you are loved. He's calling you now through these words, so that you finally understand the healing you seek is not in becoming someone different, but in accepting who you already are, in reconnecting with your divine essence, in allowing God's love to flow through you, starting with yourself. And here is the great mystery. The more you love yourself, the more you feel God's presence. Because love is the divine language. When you look at yourself with compassion, when you forgive your mistakes, when you respect your limits, when you celebrate your achievements, you are praying. You are saying to God, thank you for creating me. Thank you for this life. Thank you for loving me even when I couldn't love myself. And this gratitude, this acceptance, opens the gates of heaven within your heart. The scriptures tell us that we are made in the image and likeness of God. Have you ever stopped to reflect on what this really means? It means there is divinity in you. There is light. There is low. There is creative power. You are not just flesh and bone. You are eternal spirit, living a human experience. And every time you diminish yourself, you are denying this truth. Every time you mistreat yourself, you are forgetting who you really are. But forgetting is part of the human journey. We lose ourselves to find ourselves again. We hurt ourselves to learn to heal. We distance ourselves from God to feel the joy of return. That there is a loving force guiding you, sustaining you, supporting you in every fall. And this force wants you to rise, not as someone who needs to be perfect, but as someone who is loved in their imperfection. True spirituality frees you from the prison of self. It teaches you that you don't need to carry everything alone, that you can surrender your pains, your fears, your guilts into God's hands, that you can rest in the divine lap and allow yourself to be cared for. And in this rest, in this surrender, something miraculous happens. You begin to see yourself with God's eyes, and these eyes don't see defects, don't see flaws, don't see unworthiness. They see a beloved son, a beloved daughter, unique, precious, worthy of all the love in the universe. So, as you hear these words, allow them to penetrate deep into your heart. Allow spiritual truth to dissolve the lies you believed about yourself. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not other people's opinions. And the more you connect with this truth, the more your life transforms. Because when you love yourself from the spiritual perspective, you are not just healing your wounds, you are aligning your life with divine purpose, and there is nothing more powerful than that. And now, we begin to walk, because understanding the pain and knowing the spiritual truth is important, but real transformation happens when you take the first steps toward healing. And I need to be honest with you, this path is not easy. It requires courage, patience, and, above all, compassion for yourself. But each step, however small, brings you closer to the person you were created to be. And it's worth it. Oh, how it's worth it. The first step of healing is awareness. You need to stop and look honestly at the way you've been treating yourself. Observe your internal words, that voice that speaks with you when you're alone. Is it kind or cruel? Does it encourage you or diminish you? Does it forgive you or condemn you? Most people don't even realize how hard they are on themselves until they start paying attention. And when you finally hear that critical voice, when you recognize that you've been speaking to yourself in a way you would never speak to someone you love, something begins to change. Because awareness is light, and where there is light, darkness cannot remain. Then comes choice. And this is the most powerful part of the entire journey. You need to choose to love yourself. Don't wait to feel like it. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait to deserve it. Simply choose it. Choose to treat yourself with kindness today, even if yesterday you were cruel to yourself. Choose to respect your limits, even when everyone around expects you to sacrifice yourself. Choose to forgive yourself, even when guilt insists on imprisoning you. Because self-love is not a feeling that appears magically. It's a decision you make every day, an act of will that strengthens with practice. And in this choice, you are not alone. This is where spirituality becomes your most powerful ally. Begin each day with a simple prayer, an intimate conversation with God. Tell him, Father, I don't know how to love myself, but I know you love me. Teach me to see myself with your eyes. Help me to be kind to myself today. And then, pay attention. Pay attention to the small whispers, the gentle intuitions, the moments when you feel an impulse to be kinder to yourself. This is God's answer. This is grace operating in you, guiding you back home, back to yourself. Another powerful practice is forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself for everything you think you did wrong, for all the times you weren't perfect, for all the opportunities you let pass. Sit in silence, place your hand on your heart and say, I forgive myself. I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. I release the guilt and choose peace. At first, these words may seem empty. You may not believe them, but keep saying them. Because words have power. They create realities. And little by little, whisper after whisper, prayer after prayer, you will feel the weight dissolving, the prison opening, freedom arriving. Learn also to celebrate small victories. The culture of self-criticism taught you to focus only on what's wrong, on what's missing, on what you haven't achieved yet. But healing comes when you begin to recognize what's right, what you already have, what you've already achieved. Did you wake up today? Celebrate? Were you kind to someone? Celebra. Punto. Did you breathe? Smile? Continue? even when it was difficult. Celebrat. Celebrat. Because these small things, which seem insignificant, are actually great acts of courage, and you deserve to recognize your own strength. Establish sacred boundaries. Part of loving yourself is knowing how to say no when necessary. Not to be selfish, but to preserve your peace, your energy, your emotional health, and this can seem scary at first, especially if you've always been the person who said yes to everything and everyone. But remember, God didn't call you to empty yourself completely. He called you to overflow. And you only overflow when your cup is full. So, take care of your cup. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to refuse what doesn't serve you well. Allow yourself to prioritize your peace without guilt. Cultivate moments of silence and spiritual connection. In the midst of daily rush, set aside a few minutes to simply be with yourself. Be with God. Be with the present. It can be through meditation, prayer, a walk in nature, a moment contemplating the sky. In these instants of quietness, you reconnect with your essence. You remember who you are beyond the masks, beyond the obligations, beyond the expectations. And in this remembering, healing deepens. Practice gratitude for your body, for your story, for your journey. Your body has carried you this far. Even when you criticized it, even when you neglected it, your experiences, even the painful ones, have taught you, shaped you, brought you to this moment of awakening. Instead of rejecting your past or your present, be grateful. Be grateful for the lessons, for the scars that are proof you survived, for the strength you didn't know you had. Gratitude is a portal to love, and the more you give thanks, the more love you feel. And remember, healing is not linear. There will be days when you will love yourself easily, and days when self-criticism will return with force. There will be moments of light and moments of shadow, and that's okay. You're not failing. You're being human. The important thing is not to be perfect on this journey, but to be persistent. Every time you fall into the trap of self-criticism and manage to rescue yourself with compassion, you are getting stronger. Every time you choose to love yourself, even when you don't feel like it, you are planting seeds of transformation that will flourish in due time. Because healing happens in layers, in cycles, in ascending spirals. You heal, grow, find a new deeper wound, heal again, grow more. And with each cycle, you become more whole, more authentic, more aligned with your divine self. The path of healing is actually the path back home, to the home of your heart, where God has always been waiting for you, where love has always been available, where you've always been welcome exactly as you are. And then something miraculous begins to happen. After walking so long in the darkness, after searching so much, striving so hard to love yourself, you feel it. You feel a subtle but profound change happening inside you. It's as if a window opened in your chest and light finally entered. You breathed differently. You wake up differently. There is a lightness you haven't felt in a long time, and you realize your faith is being reborn. Not just faith in God, but faith in yourself. Fight in life, fight in love. This renewal doesn't arrive with fanfare or great signs. It comes silently, like to dawn. First, a soft clarity on the horizon. Then, the first rays of sun gently touching everything around you. And suddenly, without you noticing the exact moment, it's day. The night has passed, and you are standing, alive, breathing, feeling. And you know, with a certainty that needs no proof, that something has changed forever. You have changed, not because he became perfect, but because he became closer to who you really are. Renewed faith gives you new eyes. You look at yourself and, for the first time in a long time, you don't see only flaws. You see someone who's been fighting, someone who's been trying, someone who, despite all the falls, keeps getting up. You see courage where you once saw weakness. You see beauty where you once saw imperfection. You see a human being worthy of love, of respect, of all the good things life can offer. And this new look is not illusion. It's not arrogance. It's clarity. It's finally seeing the truth that God has always known about you. And with this renewed faith, you begin to trust again. Trust that you are capable of taking care of yourself. Trust that you deserve to rest without guilt. Trust that your dreams are not foolish, but divine seeds planted in your heart. Trust that even when you don't understand everything, even when the path seems uncertain, there is a greater purpose guiding you. And this trust is not naive, it is wise. It is wise because it comes from someone who has already crossed the darkness and discovered that, even there, God was present. You also realize that your connection with the divine has deepened. Your prayers have changed. Before, you prayed asking to be different, to stop being who you were. Now, you pray, giving thanks for being who you are. You pray asking for strength to continue loving yourself, wisdom to treat yourself with compassion, courage to honor your journey. And when you pray, you feel a loving presence enveloping you, sustaining you, telling you that you are never alone, that you will never be abandoned, that you are loved beyond any human understanding. The renewal of faith also gives you new strength, not the strength of someone who needs to prove something, but the strength of someone who knows their worth. You no longer need to seek validation outside yourself. You no longer need to mold yourself to please others. You have become your own refuge, your own support, your own source of love. And this doesn't separate you from people, but allows you to relate in a healthier, more authentic, freer way. Because when you are full of love for yourself, you can love others without losing yourself, without emptying yourself, without expecting them to fill the void that only you could fill. And there is something even deeper happening. You are reconciling with your story, all those wounds, all those painful experiences you carried with so much weight. Now you can look at them with compassion. You understand that each pain had a purpose, that each break was an opportunity for reconstruction, that each dark night was necessary for you to value the light of dawn. You don't glorify suffering, but you honor what it taught you. And in this honor, you free the past. You allow it to be what it is, a chapter of your story, not the entire story. Renewed faith teaches you that you don't need to have all the answers, that you may not know exactly where you're going, but you can trust the process, that you can be afraid and still move forward, that you can doubt sometimes and still believe deep in your heart that everything will fall into place at the right time. This is a mature faith, a faith that danced with doubt and chose love, a faith that was tested and emerged stronger, truer, deeper. And you feel gratitude, an immense, overflowing gratitude for being alive, for having come this far, for having had the courage to look inward and make peace with yourself. Gratitude for the people who supported you, for the experiences that shaped you, for God who never let you go even when you thought you were alone. This gratitude is like a river that flows from your heart, irrigating everything around you, making your life more fertile, more colorful, more full of possibilities. The renewal of faith is essentially the rebirth of hope, the hope that you can be happy, that you can live fully, that you deserve all the good things you dreamed of, the hope that the love you cultivate for yourself will continue growing, expanding, transforming you more and more. And this hope is not fragile, it is solid, rooted in the real experience of healing, sustained by the constant presence of the divine. You are not just believing things will get better, you are feeling they already have, and that they will continue to improve, day after day, choice after choice, moment of self-love after moment of self. And now, you see everything differently. It's as if a veil has been removed from your eyes, and for the first time, you can see clearly. You look in the mirror and it's no longer that critical vision that greets you. It's a face that tells stories, that carries experiences, that reflects a soul that learned to love itself. You smile at yourself, and this smile is genuine, it's tender, it's full of acceptance. You recognize yourself, not as someone perfect, but as someone real, someone human, someone who is doing their best. And that, finally, is enough. The new perspective allows you to see beauty where you once only saw a defect. Those marks on your body that you always hid. Now you see them as maps of a lived journey, silent witnesses of your resistance. That characteristic of your personality you always wanted to change. Now you understand it's part of your uniqueness, your unique way of being in the world. You no longer need to be like others. You can simply be you, and there is immense freedom in this acceptance, a peace that transcends any logical understanding. You also begin to see the people around you differently. Because when you love yourself, when you accept yourself, you naturally become more compassionate with others. You understand that each person is fighting their own battles, carrying their own pains, trying to find their own way. You stop judging so harshly, stop comparing, stop competing. You understand there is room for everyone to shine, that someone's success doesn't diminish your worth, that each journey is unique and sacred. And in this understanding, your relationships transform. They become lighter, more authentic, more loving. The world also seems different. Colors are more vivid. Sounds are clearer. You notice details that previously went unnoticed. The birds singing in the morning, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of food, the beauty of a smile. You are more present, more connected with the moment. Because when you are no longer imprisoned in your critical mind, when you are no longer lost in worries about the past or anxieties about the future, you can finally be here, now. And there is magic in this being present, a fullness you sought in so many places, but that was always available in the here and now. With this new perspective, you also see your purpose more clearly. You understand you didn't come to this world just to survive, to fulfill obligations, to meet expectations. You came to live, to create, to love, to leave your unique mark. And this mark doesn't need to be grandiose in the world's eyes. It can be simple. A smile that brightens someone's day, a kind word at the right moment, the courage to be authentic in a world that pressures you to wear masks. You understand your purpose is not something you need to find out there. It reveals itself naturally when you live from your center, from the love you have for yourself and for the divine. And there is lightness, now, a lightness that comes from no longer carrying so much weight. You released the need to be perfect. You released the guilt that tied you to the past. You released the fear that prevented you from moving forward. And in this releasing, you discovered you can fly, not the way you imagined, but in an even better way. You fly with your feet on the ground, anchored in reality, but with your heart open to the infinite possibilities life offers. You fly through your faith, through your self-love, through your connection with the divine. You also realize you've become your best friend. That companionship you sought so much in others, you found in yourself. You talk to yourself with affection. You encourage yourself in difficult moments. You celebrate your victories. You console yourself in sadness. You're no longer alone, because you have yourself. And this loving presence you cultivate within yourself is the reflection of God's presence. You have become a home for yourself, a safe refuge, a place of peace in the midst of the world's chaos. And when you look back at the entire journey you've traveled, you feel profound gratitude. Gratitude for the courage you had to begin, for the persistence that kept you walking, for the faith that was reborn in you. You even give thanks for the difficulties, because they shaped you, taught you, brought you to this place of love and acceptance. You now understand that nothing was in vain, that each step was necessary, that each pain had a purpose. And this understanding doesn't justify suffering, but transforms it into wisdom. The new perspective is, essentially, the perspective of someone who found themselves, of someone who made peace with themselves, of someone who learned that loving yourself is not a final destination, but a continuous journey, a daily practice, a renewed choice. Every dawn, there will still be challenges, there will still be moments of doubt, that life will continue to test you. But you also know that now, you have something you didn't have before, the sacred union between self-love and spirituality. And with this union, you can cross any storm, because you are no longer divided. You are whole. You are at peace. You are home. And so we arrive at the heart of this message, at the teaching that can change everything if you allow it to penetrate deep into your soul. Everything we talked about today, everything you felt while listening to these words, converges to a simple and profound truth. Loving yourself is a sacred act. It's not optional. It's not luxury. It's not selfishness. It's the foundation upon which you build a full, meaningful life aligned with the divine. Because when you love yourself, you are saying yes to the life God gave you. You are honoring the miracle that is your existence. Understand this once and for all. You don't need to wait to be perfect to love yourself. You don't need to achieve all your goals, correct all your flaws, or become the best version of yourself first. You can love yourself now, exactly as you are, with your imperfections, with your doubts, with your wounds still in the process of healing. Because love is not conditional. True love, the love that heals, the love that transforms, it embraces everything. It doesn't demand that you be different. It only asks that you be real. And when you unite this self-love with spirituality, when you understand that taking care of yourself is a form of prayer, when you treat your heart with the same tenderness God has for you, something miraculous happens. Your life transforms from the inside out. Your relationships improve because you're no longer seeking in others what only you can give yourself. Your health improves because you stop mistreating yourself and begin to respect your limits. Your inner peace expands because you are no longer at war with yourself. Everything changes when you change the way you see and treat yourself. This is the great secret few discover. The healing you seek so much will not come from outside. It won't come from a material achievement, from a perfect relationship, from an ideal body. It will come from within, from the moment you decide to look at yourself with compassion, to forgive yourself, to accept yourself, to love yourself. And when you do this, when you finally make peace with yourself, you discover that God was always there, waiting for you to open the door of your heart, not to judge you, not to condemn you, but to embrace you and tell you, "Welcome back, my son. Welcome back, my daughter. I have always loved you." And now you are finally learning to love yourself too. Take this teaching with you. Every time you choose to be kind to yourself, you are praying. Every time you respect your limits, you are honoring the sacred temple that is your body. Every time you forgive your mistakes, you are reflecting divine mercy. Every time you celebrate who you are glorifying God's creation. Self-love and spirituality are not separate paths. They are the same path, seen from different angles. And when you unite them, when you walk with both, you become complete. And to notice, your healing journey inspires others. When you love yourself, when you heal yourself, when you live authentically and fully, you give permission for others to do the same. You become a beacon of light in a world that often seems so dark. You show that it's possible, that transformation is real, that it's worth doing this inner work. And this is a gift, not only to you, but to everyone around you. So, at the end of this conversation, I invite you to make a promise to yourself, a sacred promise, witnessed by the divine. Promise that you will start today to treat yourself with more love, that you will speak to yourself with more kindness, that you will forgive yourself when you make mistakes, that you will respect your limits without guilt, that you will celebrate your victories, however small they may be, that you will look in the mirror and say, "I love you. You are enough. You are worthy." And even if these words seem strange at first, keep saying them. Because one day, you will say them and you will believe. And on that day, you will understand the true meaning of the union between self-love and spirituality. You will understand that loving yourself is and always has been the way back to God. If these words touched your heart, if something inside you moved while we listened together to the voice of love and faith, know it was not by chance. God is calling you to a new beginning. He is inviting you to look at yourself with new eyes, with the eyes of divine compassion. And this invitation doesn't expire. It will be here tomorrow and the day after, and every day of your life, because God's love for you is eternal, and the love you can cultivate for yourself is inexhaustible. I want to invite you to continue this journey with us here on the Between Love and Faith channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because each video is a message of hope, a seed of transformation planted in your heart. And together, we will continue walking, discovering, healing, and being reborn. In our next meeting, we're going to talk about something equally powerful and liberating. The signs that it is time to leave the past behind and allow the new to flourish in you. Until then, remember, you are loved, you are worthy, you are enough. And the path of healing begins with a single step of love for yourself. May God bless you, guide you, and wrap you in His infinite love. See you soon, and may the light of self-love and spirituality continue shining in you. Amen.